Hello class. We are going to go over objective 7 today. In objective 7, we are still solving linear equations, but now we're looking at problems that contain parentheses and fractions. So for part 1, we're going to look at the ones that contain fractions. So for example 1, we have 3 over 4x minus 2 equals negative 11. So we're just going to jump right in and solve it the way that we have been solving the problems. So first, of course, we need to notice the things that are stopping the x from being on the left side by itself. So the first thing that we need to move is the minus 2, so we need to add 2 on both sides, and that will leave us with 3 over 4x equals negative 9. Now, as we talked about, and I believe objective 5, we can multiply both sides by the reciprocal, which is 4 over 3. 4 over 3 times 9. All right. So, of course, 4 over 3 times 3 over 4 will cancel, and we will just have x. And then over here, we'll have negative 12. All right. So if we look at example 2, we have a fraction for each term. So one of the things that we want to look at, of course, we can't add or subtract fractions without a common denominator. So we need to, work around that or whatever. So first, we need to subtract 1/2 on both sides. So then we will have 2 over 3x equals 3 over 4 minus 1/2. And this 1/2, we need to change it so that it has a denominator of 4 so that we can actually do the subtraction. So I'm going to rewrite it as 3 over 4 minus 2 over 4. So from here, we can see that 3 over 4 minus 2 over 4 equals 1 over 4. So this is what we have now. Now from this point, we still need to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of this fraction because we're trying to get this x by itself. So we'll have 3 over 2 times 1 over 4, which when we multiply that, we'll get 3 over 8. Okay. So let's look at a different way of doing this type of problem by clearing the denominators. So we're going to look at the same problem, but we're going to clear our denominators first. So what we want to do, we want to look at the denominators 3, 2, and 4, and we want to find the LCM. So out of 3, 2, and 4, I hope I didn't say 5, out of 3, 2, and 4, what is the LCM? The LCM is 12. So what we're going to do is multiply each term by 12. And that is going to clear our denominator. So I'm going to do 12 times 2 over 3x plus 12 times 1 over 2 equals 12 times 3 over 4. So using this clearing denominator technique is going to get rid of the denominator so that we can work the problem out how we would regularly with just numbers. All right. So 12 times 2 is 24 divided by 3 is going to give us 8x. 12 times 1 is 12 divided by 2 is going to give us plus 6. And 12 times 3 divided by 4 is 9. All right. Now from this point, we're good to go. We can clearly see that our next step is to subtract 6 from both sides. We have 8x equals 3. And when we divide by 8 on both sides, we get x equals 3 over 8. All right. So clearing the denominator is a method that I like to use. I feel like it kind of makes it easier, faster, all those things that we want when we're working on math problems. So from now on, I'm going to use that method. If you want to use the old method and do all the stuff that we did up here, as long as you get to the correct final answer, then that's up to you. But I want to kind of provide you guys a different way, a faster, easier method. So I think clearing the denominator method will be that method. All right. So let's look at example 4. We have the denominators 8, 3, and 4. So we need to find the LCM. So what is the LCM of 8, 3, and 4, you guys? The LCM of 8, 3, and 4 is 24. So that means that we're going to multiply each term by 24. So we'll have 24 times 5 over 8 minus 24 times 2x over 3 equals 24 times 5 over 4. All right. Now, at this point, you can just put this in your calculator. 24 times 5 divided by 8, or you can simplify it starting with the 8 and the 24. 8 goes into 8 one time, 8 goes into 24 3 times, so we're left with 3 times 5, and we get 15. All right. However you choose to simplify it, put it in the calculator, do it in your head, as long as you get the correct answer. So we will have 15 minus 16x equals 30. From here, the first thing that I would do, I would subtract 15 from both sides. And I have negative 16x equals 15. Then I would divide both sides by negative 16. So everybody should have gotten x equals negative 15 over 16. Now we're going to look at example 5. We have the denominator 5, 2, and 4. So the LCM of 5, 2, and 4 is 20. So that means we need to multiply each term by 20. So we got 20 times 4 over 5 x. Then we got minus 20 times 1/2 equals 20 times 3 over 4. All right. However you get your answer, whether you do 20 times 4 divided by 5 in your calculator, or you say 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 20 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. However you get your answer, make sure it's the right answer. All right. So our next line will be 16x minus 10 equals 15. From here, easy peasy, plus 10 on both sides. We got 16x equals 25. Divide by 16 on both sides. So x equals 25 over 16. All right. Number 6, we have 2 over 3x plus 3 equals 7 over 2. Make sure that you find your LCM. Hopefully everybody got 6 for the LCM. So we want to multiply everything by 6. So we have 6 times 2 over 3x plus 6 times 3 equals 6 times 7 over 2. Then after multiplying and simplifying this, you should have 4x plus 18 equals 21. From here, of course, we subtract 18 on both sides. We're left with 4x equals 3. Then we divide by 4 on both sides, and x should be 3 over 4. So for part 2, we are working with parentheses. And of course, with parentheses, we also get brackets and all of that. So that's where we will eventually be going. But first, we're just going to start with a group of parentheses on both sides. So for example 1, we have 4 plus 5 times 2x minus 3 equals 3 times 4x minus 1. So the first thing that we can do on each side for this particular problem is multiply the 5 through, so we're going to use the distributive property. Then we're going to multiply that 3 through, which is also the distributive property, okay? So we can keep our 4. Then we have plus 5 times 2x, which is 10x. 5 times negative 3, which is negative 15. All right. Then on the other side, we have 3 times 4x, which is 12x. Then we have 3 times negative 1, which is negative 3. All right. From here, before we can start moving things, we have to make sure that both sides of our equation are fully simplified. And I hope you guys notice that the left side is not fully simplified. So this 4 and that negative 15 can be combined. So we will have 10x minus 11 equals 12x minus 3. All right. From here, easy peasy. This is what we did in objective 6, I believe. So we can subtract 12x from both sides, and we'll have negative 2x minus 11 equals negative 3. Then we can add 11 to both sides. All right, remember we're doing the opposite of our operation. And we have negative 2x equals 8. Now we divide both sides because the negative 2 is being multiplied by the x. So the opposite of that is division. So we divide both sides by negative 2 and x equals negative 4. All right. So that is example 1. So adding in the parentheses is not that difficult. It's just probably a little tedious. You want to, pay attention and make sure that you are distributing correctly. So let's look at example 2. For this one, we have some decimals involved, so I would recommend to use your calculator. So in the first part, everything is simplified. We have one constant term and then one term with the x. So we are pretty good on the left side, but on the right side, we have some parentheses. So we need to do 0.75 times the x and 0.75 times 20. So that will be 0.75x plus 15. All right. Now from here, both sides are simplified. So we can, because this is positive, we can subtract 0.75x from both sides. And we will be left with 16 minus 0.20x equals 15. Now, we have our x term on the left side, which is what we want. Now we need to get this constant over here. The constant is now positive, so the way to remove it is to subtract 16 on both sides. So that's going to give us negative 0.20x equals negative 1. All right. From here, we have to divide both sides by negative 0.20. And x will equal, if you put this in the calculator, which is what I recommend, negative 1 divided by negative 0.20, you will get positive 5. For example 2. All right, let's keep on going. For example 3, we have 3x minus 4 times 2 minus x equals 3 times x minus 2 minus 4. All right. So we have some parentheses and we have a number in front of them, which means we need to distribute the negative 4 here to both of those terms and distribute the 3 here to both of those terms. So we have 3x, we got negative 4 times 2, which is negative 8. We got negative 4 times negative x, which is positive 4x. Make sure that whatever sign is associated with this number, that when you distribute, you keep that sign with that number, all right? Now we have our equal sign. We have 3 times x, which is 3x. We have 3 times negative 2, which is negative 6. Remember that whatever sign is with this number, that is the sign for the number. So although, yes, it's minus 2, it's also negative 2. Then we bring down our minus 4. All right. So before we start moving things across our equal sign, we want to check to see if both sides are fully simplified. So on the left side, we can combine those two. And on the right side, we can combine those two. All right? So after we combine like terms, we should have 7x minus 8 equals 3x minus 10. From here, y'all should definitely be good. We can subtract 3x. On both sides, we can add 8 on both sides. And on our left side, we're left with 7x minus 3x, which is 4x. On our right side, we're left with negative 10 plus 8, which is negative 2. Of course, we have to divide both sides by the 4 so that we can get x by itself. And x is negative 2 over 4, but we can simplify that further so it'll be negative 1/2. Alrighty. Let's look at number 4, example number 4. So we're going to keep the 5x. When you distribute the negative 4, you should get negative 12 plus 8x. When you distribute the 2, you should get 6x minus 4, and then we bring that plus 6 down. All right? So on this side, we have like terms. And on this side, we have like terms. So when we simplify, we should get 13x minus 12 equals 6x plus 2. From here, we subtract 6x from both sides. We add 12 to both sides. So on this side, we have 13x minus 6x, which is 7x. On this side, we have 2 plus 12, which is 14. So x should be 2. For number 5, we have parentheses and brackets. So in the same fashion of order operations and all of that, we're still following all of that. So with our brackets and our parentheses, we're going to be working inside out. So the first thing we want to do, and I have seen this a lot, and this is incorrect, do not start with the 3 and start distributing the 3 in, because we have not distributed the negative 4 in yet. This has to happen first. All right. So we're going to copy our 3, copy our bracket, and copy our 2. Now we need to distribute this negative 4 in. So negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. All right. Then we close the bracket. And we copy down the rest of the other side because this side is fully simplified. Now, before we can distribute this 3 in, we need to simplify inside of our bracket. So we want to copy our 3. Now, inside of the brackets, we have the 2 and the 4, which is alike. So we can combine that to get 6. And then we bring our minus 8x down, close our bracket, and then we bring the right side of our equation down. Now we can distribute the 3. So 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times negative 8x is negative 24x. Then we bring this side on down, okay? Not too bad. Now we can start moving things. So we can subtract 4x from both sides. And we get 18 minus 28x equals negative 10. Then we can subtract 18 from both sides. And we get negative 28x equals negative 28. From here, hopefully everybody got 1. So for number 6, we need to start with this negative 5 and distribute that. So negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x. Negative 5 times negative 3 is positive 15. Close our brackets and copy down the right side. Then we combine the 3x minus 10x. So we get 2x, open bracket, negative 7x plus 15, close bracket, and we copy our right side. Then from here, we have to distribute the negative 2. So negative 2 times negative 7x is positive 14x, and negative 2 times positive 15 is negative 30. And we're going to copy the right side. All right. So we know we need to subtract 3x on both sides. And we know we need to add 30 on both sides. All right. Hopefully y'all got 11x equals 22. So that means that x is 2. All right. Want to set up office hours or something, let me know. My number to text me is 334-440-6002. Text me. Of course, let me know who you are and what is going on, the concern or the issue or whatever, and then we'll move on from there. You can email me at my ASU email, but if you text this number, I'll probably respond before I respond to the email. If y'all have any questions, concerns, difficulties, whatever it is, just text it to that number and I'll help you figure it out or solve it or whatever we need to do. Okay? Remember to make sure that you guys are studying your material, because basically every 2 objectives we have a quiz or a test. So after objective 8, we have test 2. All right, so I want you guys to be ready for that. Of course, on WebAssign, you will have a test to review that you can kind of practice before you take the actual test. So that's great. And then, of course, you will have to take the test too. All right. Y'all have a great day and bye-bye.